Hi, Gemini. This is your Sagittarius reading, December. All information to work with me one-on-one is below, as well as the extended link to this reading, which will be in the first link below, is where we get even more in depth. And I'm telling you, this month I have to. I am finding it easier to get to the root of what I mean, but it's a process. You're in another moment in your life. Sorry. Okay. You're in another moment in your life where, and under this full moon, I feel very okay to say this. You have a lot going on. Some things you may have jumped into because you feel stuck and you think this is the way, this is what's going to, sorry about that. This is the way, this is what's going to help me, this is what's going to change me, save me, help me, move me. This full moon is staring you in the face. For some of you, this is very physical, meets emotional. There are some things emotionally that are just not meant to be held on to the way that they are at this level in your life, at this point. Maybe you can even call it in your life. And you're now beginning to realize that a lot of what has emotionally kept you stagnant, if you felt that way, especially for the past few months since the last mutable sign. A lot of this, interestingly enough, I know it's only the second reading I've done, but it's interesting to see from mutable to mutable sign how we get back into those mutable tendencies, how quickly we feel into it, and how it's shown through the cards, because this is the part of the mutable that you have the opportunity coming right into the season to see, okay, the choices that I've made got me here. And now I'm beginning to, this doesn't read that you've acted upon anything yet. We'll see what the cards say before I answer when. In astrology, it may be wise to wait until after the Sag new moon, but we'll get more into it in a moment. But just like how I felt this season, coming into the season would be, is that Scorpio season made you really look at what's kept you stuck, and then how to give, and this season, between that and this season, it gives you the right next step. Like, what do you need to get out of the depth that you're in? What is the quickest jump out and into a space where you feel more confident to think from a confident place? Because one thing that air signs don't always have access to in times when they're contemplating, thinking, making decisions is their emotional state. If air signs, as an air sign, if we're not in an healthy emotional state in the moment of making a decision, it's literally not ever a good time. It's never a good time to make decisions when you're not emotionally stable, regardless of how it feels in the moment, between the drama and the attention it gives you and the love, or the trying to heal something that and it will never work in this way, that other signs have some kind of grasp on. Fire signs just don't give a fuck. They're willing to put up with being embarrassed for the moment of saying something dumb. Sagittarius season. Water signs also get that, but at the same time, they don't care if they lose you, kind of vibe. And then earth signs just don't budge in that way easily, again, unless swayed, right? All of this is due to the general basis of being a confident yet very normal ups and down type person. You, air signs, on the other hand, we it isn't unwise to be given, and if you have found yourself in a situation where you're have people around you who want you to make decisions quicker, or this particular one quicker, or are forcing anything upon you, I'm gonna shuffle now that I'm saying that. You need a minute. You need a moment. This has brought you into a place where you're seeing things, and you're going to begin to see things differently. I won't say that there will be a lot, like no clarity at all this month. I will speak. My brain moves faster than I can say. But I want these to mean something, not just be me saying a lot of things which are meaningful, but we get to the point, right? So a fellow air sign pops out. I'm sorry, I have all this fidgety. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Realizing when you start to visualize and expand your mind, and you're in this moment where you're like, okay, if the world can just stop. There's a lot going on around you. Maybe while everything's going on, you give yourself a moment. Because as air signs, you can do that. As a Gemini, you can take the moment, be surrounded by chaos, like being in New York City, or having cooking going, cleaning going, something else going, but you have a moment to yourself. You can take that, for example, can be something you could be really grateful for, but you can also take this moment to see that, okay, as you're exploring this visualization, what does this bring me to? Does it bring you to lack? Or does it bring you to what you already have that could be beneficial towards the next step? As you follow this and navigate this intuitive sense of yours, it is very important. 1. 2, you will come up against and come face to face with where in your life you need to speak up and be very clear. Because if you've been receiving mixed messages, if you're unsure or in doubt, this month will give you this very clear bodily response. So a lot may not be clear, but what will be clear is that you'll either gain the willpower that you need to get yourself through, while at the same time letting go, because you need to clear space in order to envision. You can't just envision while there's so much in your way. You need to be alert, allow yourself to let go of what already is, right? What if this next phase asks you to move on, or to give away, to share, to sell, to move your resources, and you just feel it? That during these moments, if you can find yourself there this month, you give them to yourself in a way that's not, okay, this is, wow, I feel something, but then you don't act upon it. Then you don't do anything with that. Even if it's just write it down. I learned the other day that any idea is just like basically foreground for the next. Like it's all just hasn't happened yet. And that's what Virgo will always tell us. So mercurial signs have to do with your hands, your shoulders, of course the mind, but it's the dexterous places, the joints, the parts of us that are able to move in all directions and have dexterity to write things down, right? To really build and create from what you've been given. You could say that this journey of letting go emotionally is a catalyst, of course, for the mental. And if there are certain people in your life that happen to meet you while you're in the midst of this, or right at the moment, something you can do for them is pray for them in their journey, because they met you and maybe hopefully were kind to you. If not, yet there's still significance there. It's something about seeing yourself outside of yourself, but also enjoying the idea, or flirting with the idea of understanding that it's how you respond to your life. That you are now choosing. And if you're choosing not to give your own thoughts or self enough credit, right? If you're not giving yourself enough credit, if you're not giving your ideas enough credit, you're not giving these thoughts enough credit, but then you're giving so much energy to ones that are taking from you. Not saying that you're doing this, I'm just giving an example. Then where's the benefit? Where's the help? Where's the necessity? What does this do for you? Where is it bringing you mentally? Right? Can you justify this? Because really what it could be is just this defense mechanism where this is where mutable signs meet. Where you can have all of these different avenues to shift in those moments where you need to. And it's not until you finally get to the point where you're ready where you do it. It's the moment you realize that when you come up against these defense mechanisms or resistance to yourself, or to trusting and believing in the power in which you've already created for yourself, for your life thus far, but also knowing that this month will show you how intimately connected everything really is. That last month is that, of course. But then not that we move on from that, but we move into a different adventure, and we realize how nothing's lost from the month before. That what makes a Sagittarius meaningful, right, is that they, not only that they learn and that they become more intimate with the life around them, but then they can put that into their sights. That their vision is just as powerful as their bow. Yours is that you have, it's like teleporting, it's all air, right? If you visualize and can see this for yourself, if you can do this for yourself, that if you have access to this within your being, I should say, is that, and you feel safe to do so, there's a lot you can say to yourself in this time. There's a lot you can reconcile as well. And there's a lot to be also negotiated. There are parts of you that you realize that you've been saying something but doing something else, and you're finding the connection. You really don't seem like you've had any idea, but all of this air here is that when you take your time to see what it would be like without the defense in particular areas of your life, how your intuition flourishes, but how connected it is to the contracts you've already made, whether they're with yourself, because that's played out all around us, and you're thinking more broadly, or you're being invited to, and you love this, right? Into this season, you expand your mind and you see how all of this weight maybe you've been carrying has a next evolution. All right, we'll see you in the next part. See you next month.